Live. My name is Sean Snowday. Today we have Wes Schaeffer on the line. How you doing, Wes?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So what are we going to go over today?
Oh man, we're gonna talk about jujitsu. I'm gonna show pictures of my grandson.
Nice.
Maybe last trip to Disneyland, which was I don't know a decade ago. That is not the happiest place on earth. That's a great example of great marketing. That is not the happiest place on earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, let's delve into that for a minute before we start. First of all, I want to know a little bit about your grandson. How old's your grandson?
6 weeks,
Nice. Congratulations.
and another one coming in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, and you're just have a huge legacy going. Great, beautiful family, and now it's just extending. I mean, that's amazing. So, did you take him to Disneyland?
No.
Oh, so what are the things that are in marketing that Disney is dropping before we get in these 5 steps? Because I think it'd be important for the viewers to know that before you make a sale, you need to drive the traffic, and there needs to be a message there. So where do you think they dropped the ball a little bit? Or
Well, it's just personal. I'm just not big on crowds,
okay,
And Disney, if you're a fan of Dan Kennedy, right? He loves Disney World. He does his masterminds. He'll fly people down to Orlando, and Orlando is different. I haven't been there in forever.
yeah,
I live close to Disneyland, and it's pretty small.
right,
But they're geniuses, at marketing, and they just keep raising the prices, and people keep going.
yeah,
They do, like, the staff are friendly, right? The place is clean. They're kind of like Chick-fil-A, right? Hey, can I get this? My pleasure. So
yeah,
they're always very accommodating
right,
in that regard. And look, when you're working with kids, when you're catering to kids, it's hard to mess up,
yeah,
right? Because people forget, like, we were all born as natural salespeople. It just gets beaten out of us somewhere between the ages of 6 and 16,
yeah,
and we stop. But if you have kids, they're always selling you, hey, can I watch a cartoon? Hey, can I have ice cream? Can I go out and play? Can you take me to Disneyland? I mean, they 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 don't take no for an answer, right? But eventually they do. It gets beaten out of us. I think we just, over time, we lose that fire, we lose the passion. We don't have big enough goals, we don't have big enough vision to help us get through the obstacles that will always appear. So we just settle,
yeah.
and that's disheartening.
So do you think that we unknowingly know the 5 steps when we're children trying to get that cookie off the top of the refrigerator?
I don't know if we unknowingly know the 5 steps. We're just persistent. There is such a thing as beginner's luck, and I think
Right.
that's what kids have. Beginner's luck is when you show up and you're happy, you're optimistic, you're excited, you're energetic, and you don't know everything because you're new, but you want to tell everybody you meet about the new thing that you're working on, the great company that you're starting with, and you don't have all the answers. So you say, what, I'm brand new. I'll go get that answer. I'll come back to you. So that energetic style, and look, you can't do that your whole life. It does take a lot of energy. You are very inefficient, and over time that'll wear you down.
Mhm.
So ideally you keep that energy, but you focus it, right? You harness it, and so you can be very deliberate with how you spend that energy and that focus. And so no, I don't think kids, they don't know these steps, right?
Right.
They're just happy go lucky kids that want something and will not be denied, right? Just like Rocky, going out to Russia and running in the snow, right? He's not going to be denied. Doesn't matter what the technology the Russians have. He's got the heart, right? He's got the eye of the tiger, and he wins. So, if you can keep that eye of the tiger and apply some systems, some processes, um, that's when the real victories come.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, let's go over the 5 steps, and I guess you've done this many times, so it's just basically your flow of consciousness, and of course there'll be an offer at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep it simple. I've got let me see here. I threw some slides together. Um, I don't know the sequence on this platform.
It's the up arrow.
Yeah, I see the up arrow. Which screen will I can choose the screen, right?
Right. You should be able to choose entire screen or
Yep. When choose tab, choose window, choose entire screen. Let's go. I think we'll do this one here. Bada bing, bada boom. And I think if I hit play over here. So which one are you seeing? Oh, are you seeing the one small hinges swing big doors?
no.
Are you seeing the two slides?
No, and a matter of fact, I don't know if I'm going to see it on this end.
Oh, gotcha. Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
So it says it is sharing my screen. Oh, but you don't know. You can't see?
Yeah, I'm asking support. So thank you for being patient with me. I can edit this part out, but um again, this is the first time I've used this software at this level.
So when I click share screen, do you see me? You just
Yeah,
keep
I
seeing me?
see you. I just see the two of us.
Do you have dual screens or no?
Oh, you know what? I have this thing where I can. You would think you would be able to see the entire screen, like it would show that.
Mm-hmm.
So what tech support is saying. So it says share is
Here, let me see. I'm gonna.
does it say share tab video
Oh,
with a
I can
check mark?
upload the presentation. There's got the plus there. Add source.
Okay. But does it say share tabbed? Is there like a check mark in the bottom left-hand corner?
I can share a tab. I can share a window.
Yeah, but in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a check mark.
Not on mine. Oh, share tab. Well, share tab audio.
Well, this is a freaking train wreck. I already told these people. Are you uploading it?
No, I can.
Yeah.
So I put the tab. You're in the show. Everyone can see in here. So do you see the over on the left-hand side? Because I see, I guess whoever's talking is on the
Oh,
left.
here it is. So then now I can turn that on. There we go. Now I can see it.
Okay. So now if I
Explode it.
so
There you go.
so now what do you see?
Small hinges swing big doors.
Look at that. And it's just one slide, not the
One
presentation.
slide. Just one
Okay.
slide. Wes Schaeffer. Make every sale.
So the problem there is though now I can't see you. So and
Good.
that's good, man. Because like
Yeah.
you're just so handsome. I get distracted
I don't
looking
know.
at you. You know, I get lost in your eyes. So
Yeah.
this is probably a good thing.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, don't push me, man. Why you rush me? So yeah, I've always said this: small hinges swing big doors, and it's true. It's I think too often we look for this magic button, the silver bullet, right? This shortcut, this hack, um, and we forget like it really is the little things. Have you heard the old adage? You know, for want of a nail, the war was lost. You ever heard that one?
No, I haven't, but I like it.
It goes back whatever hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. But for want of a nail, the horseshoe fell off. Because the horseshoe fell off, the rider couldn't get to his destination. Because the rider couldn't get to his destination, he couldn't deliver the message. And whatever. So you can just iterate on and on. Because he didn't get the message, and the general didn't move the troops where they needed to be. Because he didn't move the troops, he lost the battle, lost the war, and and the entire nation is lost for want of a nail. And it sounds crazy, but like think about the first space shuttle. What was like 80? Is 86? The Challenger, and an O-ring, right? That thing was like one trillionth of the cost of the entire platform. But 7 people died because of an O-ring, and so the little things do matter. And so that's why I've always said this: small hinges swing big doors. The 5 proven steps to make every sale. And what I've started to do to illustrate this is kind of do the negative for a minute. I've been creating the Diary of a Wimpy Salesman. I got 7 kids, and now I'm about to have 2 grandkids. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, we've had those forever. And it's an arrogant dude, that just kind of overvalues his own goodness and abilities. But here's what most people think of a funnel. I got the funnel now, just wait for the money. And people always ask me, hey, are you good at funnels? Are you good at this software? Are you good at that software? And they're literally putting the cart before the horse. The software doesn't matter. The tools don't matter until you get clear on your value proposition. You don't get clear on your value proposition until you get clear on who is it that you serve. What needs do you fill, solve? What itch do you scratch? And it's not everyone. Typical salespeople are like, oh, I'm working for this water company. Okay. Who are your prospects? Everyone. The human body is 80% water. Everyone's a prospect. No, not everyone is a prospect for bottled water service. All right. So you gotta get clear on that first before you start looking at all these tools. More hacking, right? You see, I've hacked the funnel hack, the biohack, even the hacky sack. I'm going to make a funnel, sell access to my hack secrets for $9.97 with an upsell to a $25,000 mastermind. Hello, Easy Street. Do you know those people, Sean? You've seen them, huh? You probably talk to them almost every day.
Well, unfortunately, I think I am one.
Come
I
on,
know,
man.
but no, I see this consistently, and it kind of with the pandemic, everybody became a funnel maker and a marketer, and it really lessened or whatever the word is,
cheapened.
Yeah. So I love this.
Yeah, it's like, back in the day, what was a funnel? Well, McDonald's would have a billboard. They would be advertising on the side of a bus. They would be in newspapers. They would be having a TV commercial during the football game. They'd be on the radio. Okay, there's your funnel. So funnels have always been a thing. Now, granted, they may have been simpler back in the day. Run a classified ad, cut out this coupon, and mail your check, and we'll send you the goods. Good old Spiegel catalog, right? Sears and Roebuck. Okay, simpler funnels, but the concept is the same. Cast a wide net, bring people into your sphere of influence, drip on them, warm them up, and they finally buy. Hey, reading is my secret to success. I read Facebook groups all day, every day. I'm launching a $50,000 mastermind. Are you seeing a trend here?
Yeah.
They call me a pushy salesman and hurt my feelings. So I set up a GoFundMe account, take a 12-month sabbatical to find myself and for counseling.
Wow.
Here's the link. When I do live events, I'll always ask people, I'm like, give me a word that describes, when I say salesperson, what adjective comes to mind? And pushy always comes up. And quite often it's the first word that comes up. So I'm like, okay, you're in sales and you think that being in sales means you're pushy. Nobody wants to be seen as pushy. And so, but that is truly what we think of when we think of salespeople. And we're like, well, I'm not a pushy salesperson. So you see them come up with all kind of names, BDR, SDR, AE, customer satisfaction, happiness, evangelist. All these words that avoid the word salesperson. And I'm like, you're in sales, dude. Accept it. The sooner you accept it, the better off you're going to be. But see, the reality is we are all in sales. It's like the old adage, in poker. If you don't know who the chump is, it's you. Right? And everywhere you look, we are being sold. When you go to the grocery store, like where do you usually shop? Like not a Sam's or Costco, like a regular grocery store.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Unfortunately, I go to Walmart grocery store. It's the closest.
All right. Hey, that's fine. I haven't been there in a while. Thank God my wife does the shopping. When you go in, are the vegetables, the produce, is it on the right hand side?
It's on the left-hand side. Yeah, it's not a Walmart, it's a grocery store, but yeah, they're on the left-hand side.
They're on the left. Okay, that's interesting. A lot of stores, like our Albertsons, which is closest to us,
Yep,
and if you pay attention to this, like a typical grocery store, when you walk in, the produce is on the right.
right. Our
Um,
Albertsons, it's on the right. Everywhere else, it's on the right.
yeah, because they have learned. I mean, we're in America, right? So you typically enter on the right hand side, and you go to the right. But they have learned that when people fill up their cart, or even just select a few items from the produce section, they buy more junk food on the
Mm,
rest of their shopping venture because they feel like they've done something good, so they reward themselves,
hmm.
right? And regardless of where the produce is, where is like the meat and the dairy always in a grocery store? In the front or the back?
It's always in the back.
It's always in the back. That is people like we never think about these things, but that is done on purpose. Okay. They want maximum exposure. Just like when if you buy a domain name from GoDaddy, you got to click like 37 things to get out of there.
Yeah,
Hey, you should add SSL. Hey, do you want an email address? Hey, do you want a backup? Hey, you should buy the .net, .org, on and on. So they're trying to expose you to more things. You're talking about Costco or Sam's Club. Like you got to walk in and there's this huge row of like specialty things before you can get to the rest of the store.
yeah.
Those are sales opportunities. That's their funnel.
Hmm.
Okay. So they want you to go to the back to get what you need. Then you got to walk back through to see everything else. And then when you get to the checkout stand, what is there? Is it just empty?
Candy.
Candy, right? They'll have miniature coolers there with soft drinks, Gatorade, whatever, candy, Cosmopolitan, National Enquirer, all the little magazines, packs of gum. Mommy, can I get some gum? Can I get some M&Ms? Gosh, just shut up, child. Yes. We are being sold everywhere we go.
Right.
All right. So that's what I'm saying. You've got to recognize this. Even if you don't think you are in sales, you were wrong. Yesterday, I was driving on a Sunday, and this guy in a delivery truck with the company logo is on my ass. He cuts over, blazes by me. We've got construction on this road, like a mile and a half from my house. It gets down to one lane. Everybody here knows that. And this was a local company. They had their phone number. I looked them up on Facebook. Okay. He blazes by me, and then there's the lane is ending. He had to almost lock up his brakes to let this car in because their lane was ending. And it became this kind of cat and mouse thing. And I took a picture of them, and I literally went to their Facebook page and I said, "Can you have your asshole driver, stop driving like this on a Sunday? You're at a hot springs." That guy is in sales. Oh, it was just a delivery guy. Everyone is in sales. So you better come to terms with that. Okay. The sooner you do that, the sooner you can grow your business, have the lifestyle that you want and you think you deserve. Okay. So get over it. Stop sucking your thumb. Say, damn right, I'm a salesperson. All right. Yeah, don't be pushy, but it's not an insult, okay, to be called a salesperson. And hey, look, never give 100% at work. They'll expect that every day. Give 50%. So when you give 25%, they'll just think you're having a bad day. If you ever give 75%, they'll give you a raise. We see that far too often, don't we?
Yep.
So you got to think through this. Who on your team is maybe doing this? But even yourself, do you think it's good enough? The old, build a better mousetrap, right? It's one of the biggest lies. The crazy thing is, it's not even true. A salesperson wrote that. He rewrote it and attributed it, I think, to Emerson. But a guy named Elbert Hubbard, I think was his name, rewrote it. So even the idea of a better mousetrap was better written by a salesperson. So they will not beat a path to your door. Inferior products, always, you see them always beating superior products because of better marketing. Okay. Better salesmanship. So you better embrace this. Okay. Nobody owes you anything. And every day you got to get up. The old, what was it? The lion and the gazelle. Either way, you better wake up and run. All right. Because your competition is. Um, I created this just a few weeks ago because I literally had this conversation. This dude's on the phone with me. Hey, brother. And you can hear him smoking, probably vaping. Hey, man, what's up, my man? Hey, brother. Just before we got on this call, some dude DMs me in Facebook, and we're not friends. Say, hey, I work with Danny. I saw you like one of his posts. He sends me a link to talk, and I'm like, who's Danny? So stop assuming everybody knows you. Stop trying to be cool, buddy, buddy. We as salespeople must meet our prospects where they are. Okay. Literally and figuratively, mentally, I think it was Robert Collier, said we must enter the conversation going on in the mind of the prospect. So here's some young dude working with some real estate investor named Danny. And he's thinking, hey, all the cool kids just DM people and text them. Okay. So we're going to get into the multimedia, multi-step on the 5 stages. Right. But so, hey, let me just see who likes one of his posts and I'll DM him and send him a calendar link. What? Come on, man. I mean, everything I have is open. My Facebook profile, I link to everywhere. In about 3 minutes, you can know a good bit about me. That guy did not do 1 minute of research on me.
Right.
Okay. See something, send a link. See something, boom, boom, boom. And you know what? It's probably working for them. They're probably getting enough sales that they're satisfied, that the ROI is at least positive. Could it be more positive? Probably. Do they care? Apparently not. Okay. But we must meet our prospects where they are. Great salespeople pull, right? They attract people to them. They don't push them towards the objective. We just got a new puppy, and this thing, we went for a walk the other night. We got like 2 houses down the street, and this thing just plopped down in our neighbor's yard, and that was it. We couldn't drag him, man. I mean, we could, right? But it's like we don't want to drag him on concrete, so we had to pick him up. And we walked for another couple of houses, and he got excited, saw the other dogs, and kept going. But yeah. I mean, you don't want to drag them. You don't want to carry your prospects across the threshold. So you want to be attracting them so they are energetically and optimistically, enthusiastically walking towards what it is that you're offering. Okay.
Yeah, but this kind of, and I know you're a little young gun, and you may not be old enough to remember this, but there's a television show called WKRP in Cincinnati.
Dude, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm about 10 years older than you.
Are you 63?
No, I'm 57.
All right, 4 years. 4 years, man.
Yeah, I was a senior when you were a freshman. But in that show, there was a scene where Herb Tarlick, who always dressed in plaid, he was going to meet a billionaire, and so Lonnie Anderson put him in like this Armani suit, and then the billionaire showed up in a plaid suit. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that episode, but
yeah, it's really good.
I know it was Les Nessman, or who was it?
No. It was Herb Tarlick, the salesperson that always dressed in plaid.
Yeah.
And so then he looked the tens, and just looked like he's wearing a $10,000 suit. Probably back then it was a $1,500 suit.
Yeah.
But then he shows up, and then the billionaire. So when you need to match him at the level, what do you think? Like, I know you can get into the bros once you got the MRR or once you got the rapport, then you could start doing that on the golf course and everything. But when you meet someone, what do you think your initial brand should be? Should it be just standard or?
Well, so first of all,
uniform.
I mean, when in doubt, be yourself.
Right.
Right. So that WKRP, I mean, if he would have been himself, he would have easily won the sale, but at least he would have been more comfortable in his own skin.
Right.
When you show up in a different way, it's just, people always say, oh, dogs can sense fear. Humans can sense fear and uncertainty much better than dogs. And what we notice, a lot of it, is body language, it's tonality, it's eye contact. How firm is the handshake? Are you truly standing and facing them? If you're in person and you're standing, are the feet turned away? Is there hesitancy? Are the eyes darting around, looking around, head down? And even people that aren't like sales professionals, body language professionals, whatever, we pick up on that. And one of the biggest things that we notice is change. And so, did you ever notice hunters? They get all this expensive camo gear. They got camo paint for their guns. They paint their faces, and then they throw on a bright orange vest and an orange hat. You ever wondered why that is?
So they don't get shot.
Well, it is so they don't get shot, but it's like they're not very camouflaged when they do that, are they?
No.
And so the reason they do that, most animals actually have very bad vision. Okay.
Okay.
Birds of prey have great vision and humans have great vision. But what the animals notice is movement. So you can be in a bright orange vest as long as you are perfectly still. If you're, 30, 40, 50 yards away and there's some, a little bit of shrubbery, a little bit of trees, the animal can't see you. But when you move, right, if you pop up real quick with your gun or your bow or whatever, they notice the movement and then they run off. Well, humans, what we notice is that change in demeanor. Okay. Somebody shows up. Hey, Sean, it's great to see you. Hey, man, let me show you this fantastic phone. It's brand new. It's a big screen. It's this resolution. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got this. It's got Bluetooth. Blah blah blah. It's got a stylus. Look at it. It includes this and that and the other. And you go, well, how much is it? Well, is this for you? Like, what? How much memory do you need? When you change like that, in the back of our brain, we may not even think about it, but we're like, oh, well, you know what? It seems like, look, just go ahead and send us some information. This has been very good. You were a very good presenter. It was great meeting. This was very informative. Right? You ever have that happen to you?
Yep.
And so it's that change in demeanor. That's where they can't quite put their finger on it, but they know something was off. Okay, at that moment. And so you got to know your stuff from beginning to end. In a little bit, we'll talk about being a sales dog. But it's understanding, again, entering the conversation going on in the mind of your prospect. If you've done this for more than a minute, you should know how this thing's typically going to go. Just like, in football or basketball, whatever, if you scout the other team, you know their tendencies, you know who their star players are, what when it's third and long, what are they probably going to do? When it's third and short, what are they probably going to do? And so you can look for tells, right? Like in poker, right? Does somebody blink? Do they scratch their ear, scratch their nose? Do they chuckle? Do they make eye contact? Do they stop making eye contact? If you're a James Bond fan, right? Casino Royale, everybody's got a tell. And so are you looking for those? Are you anticipating it? So really, ideally, you don't want to overcome it. You want to just negate it. Okay. If somebody's got, a great player, you go and double team them, double team that wide receiver, double team that center, make them kick the ball out to their point guard, who's not a very good outside shooter, so if you can anticipate it, you can defend against it. You can keep it from ever coming up. Okay. And so that's how great salespeople are. But, like here, hi, is this the helpline for alcoholics? Yep. How do you make a mojito? I think we've got a problem with drinking in this country, but I digress. But it's funny. We can talk about it. People will brag about their weekend adventures, but crazy how they won't brag about personal investment, right? Hey, I asked him if I wanted to buy or just meet. He said no, so my work is done. Time for drinks. See a little trend there? See another trend? Here's my problem solving. Ignore the problem, have a drink, blame the marketing department. You've got to understand the entire process. You know, principles are for disciplined people. Just give me the formula. I can give you the formula. I'm going to give you the 5 steps here in just a second, but you need to understand the principles behind it. Okay. If I give you, 2 + 2 = 4, great. You know that 2 + 2 = 4. But what if it's 3 + 3? Do you understand the principles underneath it? So you can calculate, you can find the answer in different variables. Okay. So that's why, we're taking time with this because you need to understand the underlying foundational principles. I'm going to 10x my sales. Obviously, that's a big thing nowadays. Yeah, if you could just 1x your sales, that would be swell.
Yeah.
I wrote a post years ago, and I bring it back, and refresh it every year, talking about how BHAGs are hurting your sales. Big, hairy, audacious goals. And it's great to have a big goal, a big vision. But most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year, but they underestimate what they can achieve in 3 to 5 years. Okay. I'm going to 10x my sales this year. Okay. Maybe not. Can you double your sales this year? That's probably more achievable. Can you 10x them in 5 years? Yes. But I'm going to 10x this year and then 100x, okay, really? You're going to single-handedly sell like 1/10 of the national economy in 5 years? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So you got to have some realistic numbers, which starts with little wins, and then the compounding effect. Einstein called, compounding interest rates, or, compounding math, the 8th wonder of the world. Do the old thing with, do you want $1 million or do you want a penny today? And I double it every day for a month. Something like 90% of the growth happens, in the last day or two, because of the compounding. You end up with millions and millions of dollars, starting small and just keep growing. Okay. I always practice selling to people with no money first. It helps me gain more confidence when I talk to people with less money. And you know what? This is kind of true. Like when you are a new salesperson, you probably should start with maybe some old leads. You don't want to be what was it, Herb? And go to the billionaire to try to sell him first. Okay, maybe start with the millionaires and then work up to the billionaires. But again, if you enter the conversation going on in the mind of the prospects, you know who they are. You know what's bothering them. You can anticipate it, meet them where they are, and pull them towards you. So there's a lot of value in that. So that's why, I call it process before login. So the things we're getting into, you can do with or without technology. It's agnostic. Okay. Document your process, then go shopping for technology, and use technology kind of like software.
Yeah, can you rephrase that? Because I think that's super important. You said document
your process
before
you go trialing different tools.
Yes.
Okay. And what I mean by that, well, it's like, everybody's got a funnel, right? Made fun of a couple of funnels, but there's value in a funnel. Okay. It's casting this big net, and then slowly disqualifying prospects, so you know who to spend the most time with. But you need to understand, how do you gather these leads? Is it PPC? Is it organic? Is it social media videos? Link in bio. Okay, when they link in bio, what do? Do they opt in via text message or an email? If they give their text, do you call them also? Do you take them maybe to a free upsell or a low cost upsell to get their physical address? So what is the process to take that person from a suspect to a prospect, to a customer? And so funnels are fine. They're still limited. Pipelines are fine. They're limited to a degree, and I'll show you how to overcome those. But you know, people say, "Oh, I'm not in sales." I'm like, if you've ever been on a date, you understand sales. Even if they said no, okay, you were rejected, that was still a sale. You asked the person out, they said no. Okay, that person sold you on why they shouldn't go out on a date with you. But still, everybody understands the scenario, right? And there's a process. You make eye contact, ask her to dance, ask her for a Snapchat, invite her to dinner, go on dates 2 to 22, meet the family, pick out rings, tie the knot. All right. So there is a process there. Now, some people make eye contact, they go to the chapel, the Elvis chapel, and they tie the knot. Okay. And some of those work out. But typically, if you skip more than 2 steps, you're asking for trouble. Okay. So this applies in dating, it applies in business. Now, what I call these 5 steps, I call them the new ABCs of selling: attract, bond, convert, deliver, endear. And the reason that I say that funnels and pipelines are limited is that they are one direction, right? That funnel is top down, your pipeline's left to right. Put enough crap in, something's going to trickle out the end. That's okay when you are first identifying your processes. And people within this ABCDE model, you can have funnels and pipelines within that. But the overarching theme, again, I call it the ABCDE, is instead of being in one direction, you've got to think of this in a circular fashion. How do you attract people to you? Okay, is it a trade show booth? Okay, fine. You're at a conference. What does the booth look like? What is the offer? Now somebody opts in. How do you bond with them? And it needs to be multimedia, multi-step, because you don't know. We must meet them where they are. Some people want to read something. They want to sit down and noodle it. Others want to watch a video. They want to watch it at double speed. Others are going to watch the video, but with closed caption on and the audio off. Okay. Some want to listen to a podcast. You better offer as many of those as you can. Okay. Now, when you convert them to a customer, so that's kind of like the previous pipeline, of tying the knot. Most salespeople think that's the goal. Hey, I made a customer. Great salespeople understand, if you go A, B, C, D, E, the customer, the cash, the client is only the halfway point. I've been married 28 years. Was the day that we said I do, was that it? Or was that just the beginning of the real relationship? Right? That's where you have to now deliver the goods. You must delight. Okay. Just like sports, swing through impact, golf, baseball, martial arts. Boom. You don't just stop at the chest or the chin. You swing, all the way through. That strike goes, to the back of their skull. You swing through impact. So you sell through the close. Okay. You deliver a great experience. When you do that, now you endear yourself to your customers. I'm recording this, as we're talking. I've got my Mac Studio here. I got my iPhone. I got my AirPods. I got my Apple Watch. I've got my MacBook Air downstairs that I work on downstairs. My iPad's down there with the pencil, and my wife and 6 of my 7 kids. Well, actually, even my youngest, she's got my old iPad. So we all have iMacs, MacBook Pros, iPads, and/or MacBook Airs. Okay, we all have earphones, AirPods. So Apple understands this, right? Because when you endear yourself to your customers, now you start attracting more and more. So I was first sold. I remember I got with a startup company in 2004, and they said they would pay for whatever computer you wanted. And what they did was just basically you bought it and expensed it, and over 12 months they gave you 1/12 of the payment. So at the end of the year, you owned it. And our web guy was the only Mac guy in the company. He said, if you get a Mac, I'll show you how to use it. So since 2004, I've been a Mac guy. And so they endeared themselves to me, and then the attraction got faster and faster, and the bonding got tighter and tighter and tighter. Okay. And then the conversions became easier and easier and easier. And so now, over 19 years, I mean, we've literally bought probably like 200 devices in 19 years, and not counting, right? Throw in my in-laws. Like I bought my mom several MacBooks, iPhones. My dad's on an iPhone. My in-laws are all on iPhones and iMacs. So, I mean, hundreds of sales because Apple lives this philosophy. Okay. So, it might look something like this. What's your lead magnet? How do they come in? How do you follow up? Again, multimedia, multi-step, get the order, upsell, cross-sell, downsell. Wow. Now you get referrals, testimonials, you build a community. It's just on and on and on and on and on. Okay. You've got to think life cycle like this, so like I say, to make any sale, you must make every sale. Right? Make eye contact, ask her to dance, get her phone number, go on days 2 to 22. To make any sale, you must make every sale. So a client of mine and does web design and SEO, it might look like this. But regardless, you've got to flow chart this out and then think along every step. Did they ghost? Okay, then what? Do you kick it back to somebody? Maybe you mail them. Maybe the boss calls. So everywhere along, close deal. Okay, now let's get going after the launch, advertise the marketing, 5 months apart, 90 days, 1 year. So you got to think through every step. Process before login. You can do this on a whiteboard. You can do this, with Excel. You can buy a fancy flow chart or mind map software, whatever, but just do it. Map this stuff out before you log into any kind of tools. I talk about, being a sales dog. You need to, the concept comes from, I got it from a roller coaster. The clank, 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 clank as you're going up that first hill.
Yep.
So it's called a chain dog. That thing is pulling up, and the clank is just a metal bar that locks on the teeth. You can kind of see the teeth right in the middle, but it's little notches, little grooves. So if the chain broke, that car doesn't slide backwards and kill everybody. So it's like an emergency brake, but it's just a simple metal thing, clank, clank, clank. It just goes over the top. So, the idea is in sales, as you think through each of these stages, you've got to lock each one down so they don't sneak back up and get you. Disqualify the prospect, verify their pain, agree to an agenda, confirm compatibility, demonstrate your own capability, agree to pricing. If we talk about money, you go, hey, that's fine. That's totally within our budget. And then you give them a proposal and it's the same amount. Oh, no, we weren't thinking about that. That's too much. Like, what do you mean? Were you lying then or are you lying now? Right? So once you understand, just like sports, football, you shut down all the gaps, shut down the running backs, shut down the wide receivers. They can't go anywhere. You're going to get a sack. But you can't let anybody squirt out. You can't let that tight end double down and then roll out. You got to disqualify, shut down every possible issue, shut down anything that's going to hurt you. Okay. So you can win that sale. Maybe it looks like this, same thing, different model. But as you go through each step, lock it down. Just like climbing a mountain. You've got to acclimate yourself, check your gear before you go to the next step. If you're good, go to the next, go to the next. You can't just jump straight to the top. Like I was showing, if you skip too many stages, you're at risk. Don't put yourself at risk. All right. So that's why I say, to make any sale, you must make every sale. It's been on every slide. But this program, if you just go to makeeverysale.com, program's only $150. Okay. It's 41 videos. It's a workbook, on and on. But if you mention Sean, when you go order this, I'll give you a free 30-minute call. We'll go, work one-on-one to tackle your biggest issues and see how I can help. But the idea still is have big goals, but have clear processes, the discipline to work through each step every day, so that every step with every prospect, you're touching on all of the key points. So everything is covered. So there's no surprises. So you can deliver what they are expecting. You can delight them. And if you're doing that, the sales, they really do. They get easier and easier and easier, as they should. Your sales should become easier the longer you do what you do. Okay. You should be a known entity. You should be trusted. You should be liked. You should be admired. Ultimately, you should be trusted. Okay. We always say people buy for people they know, like, and trust, but trust is the key. I think trust is 98% of it. Knowing you is 1%, liking you is 1%, trusting you is 98% of the sale. Okay. So strive to be trustworthy, and everything else will work out for you.
All right.
What do
That
you
was
think
great.
there?
One of the things about the trust, Craig Jacobson just sent me this thing, and I have a live event coming up. I don't want to promote that, but I want to go more into what you're saying. But when it comes to the trust, what are some things that people are doing that are very subtle that make other people not trust them? Like maybe not looking directly into their eyes, or maybe some type of body language. What are like the top 5 or 10 things that people do that are very subtle, but make people go, I don't know.
Well, if you're meeting in person, like you talked about that WKRP, right? What is your attire? Or are you dressed very differently? That could be good. That could be bad. Everybody's dressing down nowadays. So, do you go too far on that? I mean, people are like damn near trashy.
Yeah. For example, my uniform, I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing a t-shirt, right?
No.
Well, you'll think I'm Mormon, and then you'll buy.
Okay. I've got a t-shirt, but just a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So, when you're in person, how do you come across? I'm not a big NLP fan or practitioner, but there is something about mirroring. We want to be around people that are like us. So you're not a parrot. Okay. But if people are calm, you need to be a kind of at least calmer. If people are super excitable, you don't have to be, cheerleading, but you need to step up your game a little bit. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. And until they know you, they're kind of checking you out. Like, do you seem like you're one of them? Okay. Then maybe I trust you a little bit more. Do you try to dominate conversations? Can you give a sincere compliment? Do you talk over people? Do you use a lot of jargon and industry lingo, try to confuse them or peacock, right? Appear bigger, more powerful than you really are. Jim Camp talked about that a lot. We want the other person to be okay, and we need to be the ones that are not okay. All right. So you got to figure that out, how to make that happen. If the prospect feels belittled, insufficient, inadequate, you always see, oh, are there any questions? Nobody wants to raise their hand. Nobody wants to appear stupid.
Right.
So that's why when you talk over people, we talk too fast, go, hey, can I ask you questions? Oh, no, that was good. Yeah, we got to go. Thank you. They don't want to appear dumb. You talked over them and you lost it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That was really good. One of the things, we're at the top of the hour, but what I like the most about you is your brand, The Sales Whisperer, because I think that's the best way to find you on the internet.
Yep.
And you've been doing it, I think 20 plus years, maybe, or
17.
Yeah. So it's been a while, almost since your first MacBook.
Yeah, almost 2 years later.
I was listening.
2 years later.
But the thing is that the Sales Whisperer, Wes Schaeffer, makeanysales.com, And so tell us a little bit more about your program. And you said there's 41 videos, but just tell us a little bit about it so we can get a better understanding.
Well, it's an on-demand program, super affordable. Like I said, it's videos, it's workbooks, it's templates, it's talk tracks, how to overcome objections. It's just, my philosophy boiled down, and they're short videos, very consumable, 3 to 5 minutes, just going over key concepts on prospecting and overcoming objections and just everything that we talked about. But you can watch it on your own time, listen to it, while you're driving, kind of understand the philosophy and the principles that I teach. And like I said, it's less money than you probably spent this weekend, on drinks and appetizers at happy hour.
Yep, absolutely. Well, maybe not me. Yeah. But the deal is that so it's makeanysales.com. And what I like
Makeeverysale.com.
oh, I'm sorry, makeeverysales.com. That's make
Nope,
every
just sale. No S.
oh okay, you say it.
Makeeverysale.com.
I'm ruining everything. Make every sale, which literally is makeeverysale.com. And what I like about your offer, that's easily digestible. So it's not a half hour, 3 hour video. These are things that you can listen as while you're driving the car, while you're driving to Starbucks. You can listen to a 2-3 minute video or audio, and you can really start absorbing this, getting it into your consciousness. There's a thing called the sales consciousness, and Wes Schaeffer is going to help burn the idea that you can make every sale through his video training series. So go to makeeverysale.com, buy that, say my name, Sean, and he will give you a free 30-minute what is a coaching call or
Yeah, it's just a private, just
private session. And I really think that and I might even get it. I remember when you first came out with it, I was going to buy it, and then I ended up giving, I think, Ryan like 10 grand. That guy he's my Disneyland. I just, every time I walk by Ryan and Roland, I just throw my wallet at him. So, okay. Okay. So anyhow, thanks again, Wes Schaeffer, for showing up. I'm very excited to have you here. We have a summit coming up where you actually have a booth, you're a sponsor, and you're actually going to be a facilitator. So I look forward to seeing you there. And is there anything more that you'd like to say to our audience?
That's it, man. Thanks for having me. And, if anyone that joins, they can see one of my other programs every Monday. So I'm hopping into my Monday call. I've got a small group that I lead, and it's it's live, and it's I take the training and support differently. You can't gobble something up and just become a pro. You gotta practice it, go deploy it, test it, get stomped, come back, and over time, just like jujitsu, right? You'll figure out the mastery. And that's what I love doing, is just helping small business owners, entrepreneurs, W-2 salespeople, just be tough and make every sale.
Now, is that paid, or is that the Monday?
Yes, that's a different group. Yeah.
Okay. How would we find you there? Is that on makeeverysale.com or?
Yeah, that you can learn about it from there, or the group is IDSS training. So it stands for Internal Dialogue Selling System, IDSStraining.com.
Okay. All right, Wes. Thanks so much
All right, man. Good to see you.
Okay.
Bye.